Good morning. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C. I'm joined by Peter Newsham, the chief of the Metropolitan Police Department, Councilmember Jack Evans, to provide a briefing on the arrest in the murder of Wendy Martinez. Wendy was a D.C. resident, a jogger, and a proud resident of Washington, D.C., a member of our community. She was senselessly murdered near where we stand at 11th and P Streets Northwest on Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. While people acted quickly, including our emergency responders, to try to help Wendy, she succumbed to her injuries. Wendy's murder has been devastating to her family and friends, people in this neighborhood, and certainly damaging to all of our senses of safety. I want to thank MPD, our detectives and officers, on their quick investigation of this crime. I want to let you know that MPD made an arrest last night, and we feel very confident that we have in our custody the person responsible for this murder. I want to turn to Peter Newsham to provide you more details.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Bowser. As you know, this past Tuesday, September 18th, just before 8 p.m., members of the 3rd District responded here to this carryout for the report of a stabbing victim. When they arrived, they found 35-year-old Wendy Martinez suffering from life-threatening stab wounds. She was being tended to by members of the public, including a nurse from our community. DC Fire and EMS responded. They transported Wendy to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. What we have learned from our investigation at this point is that Wendy, who was known as an avid runner, was jogging westbound on P Street. When she arrived at this intersection at 11th and P, the suspect was at the intersection and stabbed her. We believe that there was only one person involved in the assault. We do not have any information to suggest that Wendy knew or had any association with the suspect in this case. We also do not have any information at this point to suggest that it was a robbery. So the motive in this case right now is unknown. Yesterday morning, we released surveillance video showing a person of interest in the case. A combination of information that we received from our 3rd District patrol officers and tips from the community helped our homicide detectives establish the identification of this person of interest that was shown in the video. Homicide detectives last night searched the surrounding areas. They located this individual in a park at 14th and Girard Street Northwest. He was transported to the Homicide Division for questioning. Sufficient probable cause was established, and this morning we arrested and charged 23-year-old Anthony Crawford of Northwest D.C. with first-degree murder while armed. Wendy, as most of you know, was recently engaged. She was an accomplished professional who, by all accounts, was beloved by family and friends. I cannot even begin to imagine what her fiance, what her family, what her mom, what her brother, what her friends are going through right now, and I want to extend our heartfelt condolences to this family. I also want to thank the community for their assistance, not only for attempting to provide medical assistance on the scene, also by being cooperative with our detectives and responding to the homicide unit on the night of this offense, and lastly, by providing the tips which were instrumental in closing this case. I also want to recognize the efforts of our 3rd District Patrol officers, our homicide unit, and in particular, Detective Alexander Vogel. We can take, I think, any questions that you all might have.
Chief, can you give us any details about Mr. Crawford? Was he homeless? Did he have a history of mental illness? Is there anything about?
He was living in Northwest D.C., so he had a home in Northwest D.C. So he was not homeless. It's not our understanding that he was homeless.
Any history, any background?
He does have a criminal history. We are still going over that to identify the extent of that criminal history.
Have investigators been able to glean any kind of motivation here?
We don't have a motive in this case. We do not.
Was that surveillance video?
The surveillance video, like I said, and the cooperation of the public in providing tips was really the key to closing this case. Having patrol officers who were familiar with the community and the folks in this community was also helpful. Whenever you have, kind of this unexplained type of brutal attack that happens in our city, we do everything we possibly can to get to the bottom as quickly as we can. And so it was a combination of efforts by the community, by the police, that we're able to get this guy relatively quick.
Straight ahead. Hold on 1 second, Garrett. Straight ahead.
We heard that this suspect may have had some wounds on his hands. Was he injured in any way? Did he have...
The suspect was taken to the hospital for an injury that he has on his hand, yes. The suspect did not cooperate with us. Yes. All of that will be looked into, and as you know, we will look very carefully at the suspect's past to see if there was some indication that would lead someone to this type of violence. So we will be taking a look at not only his criminal past, but if he had any mental health issues or substance abuse issues that potentially we could have taken care of.
May have been identified by a family member. Can you expound upon who may have tipped?
Yeah, that type of information will become available once he's presented in court, that kind of detail. We were able to talk to multiple witnesses, and we don't have anything to suggest that there was any type of confrontation between the two. It looks like it was an unprovoked attack.
Was someone able to see, identified him, and then you matched it to the video that that's the guy they're describing? Is that how you got him?
Yeah, a couple things about the video, although it was a little bit grainy, and I know you've all seen the video, there was a very distinct shirt that the suspect was wearing. You could see that he was wearing sweatpants. He had white socks and sandals on. I think that uniqueness of the video is the type of thing patrol officers, like I said, had a very good sense as to who this person of interest was. We had some folks in the community who did a fantastic job of identifying these folks. We were able to marry up that information. And fortunately, we were able to locate this suspect over at 14th and Girard. We were able to establish a little bit more probable cause, and we had enough to make an arrest.
Tell us a little bit about the stabbing itself. Was it all in one location? Did the gentleman follow the victim?
Yeah, without getting into too much detail, our understanding is this happened very quickly. The victim in this case, and I have a hard time talking about this publicly because I know that there is a family who is watching, and this is a difficult thing, I think, for them to have to relive. But she was injured very severely. She made her way into the carryout behind me. Thankfully, there were some folks in the carryout who really went above and beyond to try and help her until police and fire could arrive on the scene. But unfortunately, they couldn't do enough to save her life. We're still combing through his criminal history. We don't have... I'm going to let the ambulance pass. We're still combing through his criminal history right now, but we do not have any indications of violence in his criminal past.
Your officers approached him.
I don't have that information.
Maybe this is a question for you or the mayor, but what do you say to people in the rest of the city who are shaken up by this, who felt less safe because of this particular crime?
I mean, I don't know if the mayor wants to comment. What I would say is, I live in this city. I think that it is unsettling for anyone who lives in this city to see something like this happen. This is a very isolated instance. You don't see crimes like this very much, even during the course of my career. So it's a very unlikely thing that occurred here at this intersection. At the same time, I'm sure that doesn't bring any level of comfort to the Martinez family.
What time was the arrest made? Where did you apprehend the suspect?
It was late last night, and he was initially brought in for questioning. The arrest was made at our homicide branch, 100 block of M Street Southwest. Because of he needed medical attention, I do not know. I think he probably will, but I can't say for sure.
Chief, we want to thank you and your team. Y'all doing a wonderful job in this neighborhood. This is a very indifferent thing that took place with Zone, and this is a very safe neighborhood.
This is that's a good point. This is an extremely safe neighborhood. This is a very unusual incident, and I'm sure none of us wish we were here at this point today.
Chief, how would you describe the state of the suspect when you guys were questioning him?
In what way?
You know, how was he acting? Was he responsive with you guys?
He didn't cooperate with our investigators, so I can say that. He did not.
You mentioned that the shirt was very distinctive. Was he wearing the same clothes as in the video when he was apprehended?
He was not wearing that shirt.
Was to identify that this was the man, even though the picture is very grainy?
That kind of detail will come out in the court documents. I'm reluctant to say anything that may negatively impact the case.
Did someone see him and identify him before there was even the videotape? Did someone say, that's the guy? Like, when she was attacked, obviously she was not in a position to say anything. Did someone witness it and say, here's what you're looking for, and then you found the video and there he is?
We had, you know, if you think about this particular location on a warm evening, which Tuesday night was, around 8 p.m., where there was a lot of people out here. People had, the witnesses that we spoke to had varying views and perspectives on what had occurred. So we have to piece that all together. So I wouldn't want to say. What we do know, and those are the things that I talked about already, is that Wendy was jogging westbound on P Street. She got to this intersection. There was a stabbing. The suspect fled on foot south on 11th Street. So that's what, essentially, those are the general facts that were very consistent in all of the witness statements.
May I add, Chief?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it can't be... We can't emphasize enough the importance of having video footage to deter crime and to lead to quick arrest when there is a crime. We know we have video from this intersection. We frequently talk in neighborhoods also about private security cameras that we may tap in case there is an incident. And to the gentleman's point, we do expect safety in our neighborhoods, in any and all neighborhood, whether we're in Logan Circle or Wellington Park. We want people to feel safe going about their normal activities. And a woman jogging on our street is a normal activity. And that's why I'm very grateful to community members. Another very key part of this equation is that people were willing to say what they knew to help in any way. This is an outraged community. This is a woman who should be going to work today. And that cooperation with our detectives and police will help us bring justice for this woman and her friends and family.
Mayor, if there's anyone who...
1 second.
If there's anyone who knew Wendy who might want to address us and give us some insight, I believe there's some people who are familiar with her.
We're going to wrap up our official briefing, and then I'm sure that you can talk to friends and family, of course. Yes?
What's the latest on what's being done for displaced residents at Arthur Capper? I understand there's still some in shelter today. Can you just give us the latest?
Well, I expect, and I'll have the Chief Gregory Dean from the fire department is also with us, and he can give us the latest on the wrap up of the fire operations, and Kevin or Chief can let you know how we're assisting. This won't be, people will be in shelter and temporary housing. They will not be able to go back to Arthur Capper anytime soon. And so while we're working on the condition of that building and what it's going to take to bring it back, we will have to work very hard to make sure people have other housing accommodations. Chief? Yeah, 1 second.
So there's about 40 people still over at Greenleaf. We're working closely with them. We do have enough housing. It's just getting everybody located, and we'll work our way back through that.
Today and tomorrow, will you eventually actually go in there and search just to make sure that nobody went in that you didn't know about going in kind of as a rescuer? Or...
So today we are on the scene. We're working with the building department. We'll take a determination of the stability of the building. Once we do that, if they say it's stable, we'll start putting people in there. We're working with the building owner to get fencing around that property. We're also going to have a crane come in, and we'll use that, kind of cherry pick where we think the fire started to be able to start looking at that scene. Once we get there, then we'll start walking back through, and if stable enough, we'll go through all the floors and do our secondary search to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Tell us the latest that you know about the last time it was inspected and anything you know about the sprinklers and alarms.
So the building was inspected last time by the fire department a year ago. It was inspected by a housing department in January, I believe, and also the alarm system itself was checked in April. What we learned last night was that a number of people had pulled the manual alarm, did not hear the horns going off. Within the individual units, the smoke detectors were working, but as the scene worked out yesterday, there was light smoke on the fourth floor. There was no smoke on the floors going up. They believe the fire initially where they encountered was in the caulk loft. The reason that the sprinklers didn't go off was because they were not impinged by fire on all the lower floors. And so that's what we know right now. We're looking to see exactly what the setup was there in the caulk loft, trying to determine were there sprinklers, were there heat detectors, were there smoke detectors.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is difficult. I'm here with Wendy's closest friends. We wanted to make a brief statement on behalf of the family. They are currently tending to Wendy's needs right now. They do want to speak with the press. They do want to express their gratitude to the mayor, to the city, to the police department for the swift arrest. We are heartbroken. A few things about Wendy. It's been widely reported that she was just engaged last week. Wendy should have been shopping for her wedding dress on Friday. There is a hole in our hearts that will never be replaced. There's a vigil tonight at 7 o'clock. Her family wanted to provide an opportunity for friends and family to gather as well as supporters. We would like to hold it at Logan Circle. We're working through some bureaucracy right now on that. But at 7 p.m. Is where we plan to be. That's all we have to say right now. We do appreciate you respecting the family's privacy and allowing them to grieve. I'd be more than happy to take your cards and you know, when they are ready to speak, we'll let you know.
Can you just say something about Wendy's? She liked this neighborhood, right?
Wendy lived here. She lived 2 blocks from here. This was her home, and she loved it.
She felt safe.
She felt safe.
City.
Gosh, 8 years, I think. We've known her for 6 years. I know she had been here a few years before that.
Smile. What do you love most about your friend?
Oh God, everything. She was the best one of us. Wendy was not only beautiful and not only brilliant and a hard worker and just determined to live out the American dream. She was joyful and funny and loving and always there. I think several of us, I know Donnie spoke with her fiance spoke with her an hour before her murder. I was texting with her 2 hours before her murder. I mean, this has just been a shock. It's hard to believe.
Does anyone else want to say something? Anyone else?
I think she summed it up well. She said it all.
Thank you.